Well, hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis, and Zur is in the tower. He's way up here in the hangar. If you've never seen him up here, he's right up here. And he has changed, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more of an explanation. We're going to do exotics first, but he's got more. All right, so we're going to go exotics first, and then I'm basically going to explain everything else that he's got. So, of course, you've got your exotic engram. If you do buy this one, you get a chance to add something to your collection that you don't already have. Just a reminder, if you don't have anything that he's selling, these are much cheaper than this one, because this basically costs 4 times those. So if you don't have anything he's already selling, buy that first before you buy this one, so you don't spend 4 times as much on something he's selling over there. So, now the exotics he's selling. First one that Zur is selling is Tractor Cannon. Had its heyday, it's probably been brought down a little bit, but basically what this does, this weapon emits a powerful pulse, kind of like boops people out of the way. You can launch people off maps in PvP, it's kind of fun to do. It pushes enemies away, but also suppresses their abilities, so you can shut down a super, and makes them more vulnerable to all incoming damage. All incoming damage, by the way, that used to just be void. Scientific method, damaging an opponent temporarily increases speed and handling of this weapon. So the biggest thing is you're going to make them weaker to all incoming damage, so it's like a debuff that you can do with a weapon. We have artifact mods that can do that now, but this was pretty much the go-to for that previously. As it's close up, it's not quite as it used to be like the amazing thing that's like somebody run up tractor cannon it, everybody gets more damage. But it is still a really cool weapon. At some point, if they ever revamp this thing, maybe in the catalyst, I'm not entirely sure what that actually does. But overall, somebody in the comments, let me know what the catalyst does. I just haven't looked it up in a while. Overall, if you don't have this weapon, it's still got some really cool functionality, so grab it. Stick it in the vault. I just don't think it's like doing amazing things right now, but it is still fun to like just blast people off maps and let them fly off into the distance. It's fun in PvP for that sake. For the hunters, we've got the Knucklehead radar. This one, pretty simple. Provides radar while you're aiming, enhances your radar resolution while crouched. Instead of 4 chunks of the radar, you're going to have 8. So you're going to have a little more detail of where people are at on your radar. And then also you've got radar while aiming, which is huge because you can have a sniper aimed down sights and you know if somebody's going to be creeping up next to you. So overall, if you want to be aware of what's going on, especially this is probably more of a PvP, you don't really need this in PvE. It's not that detrimental to lose your radar while you're shooting your gun in PvE. But for PvP, especially if you're learning, understanding lanes, seeing where people could come from, sneak out of, it's just a good one to have at least a decent copy of. And this isn't bad. You got 17 mobility, 12 recovery, 17 discipline, 10 intellect, not really high in resilience or strength, which is probably okay for a hunter. This is not a bad roll. 61's not the highest total stats, but you got good mobility, decent recovery, intellect, and discipline. All are double digits. That I've seen much, much worse. So check your Knucklehead radars, compare the stats. But if you don't have this, it's a really good way to get some awareness in PvP. For the Titans, Doom, Fang, Pauldrons. Now, this one we've got a decent stat roll, but the way this works is void melee kills give super energy. Not bad. While Sentinel Shield is active, melee kills recharge shield throw, which extends your super on hits. So if you get melee kills with your shield throw, if you get melee kills in your super, you get your shield throw back, which if you throw your shield and get kills with it, you extend the duration of your super. After reading what's going to happen with Void 3.0 when they update the light subclasses, stuff like this is probably going to get reworked, but your stat roll is probably going to be the same. This has 17 resilience, which isn't bad for a Titan. Discipline, intellect, and strength are reasonable. Recovery is not that high, which I would like to see like swapped with mobility. But this isn't the worst Doom Fang Pauldrons I've ever seen. If the mobility is where recovery was, I'd be like screaming about it. But still overall pretty solid. And I think things like this are going to get a rework when they update the light subclasses. And Void is coming first when we get Witch Queen in February. So if you don't have one of these, don't have a decent roll, again, add this to your collection. Stuff like this could be even more valuable when the Void subclasses get a refresh in February. Finally, for the Warlocks, we've got the Promethium Spur. And for this one, we've got a perk, Embers of Light. This just got updated as well. And you see over on the right, you do have only 6 in recovery, but a total of 63 for strength. For stats, I mean. 17 in intellect's not bad. But again, the recovery stat for the Warlocks, this one definitely could be better. But you defeating combatants or guardians while Daybreak is active creates a healing and empowering rift at their location. Daybreak is, I'm pretty sure, a solar subclass thing. While standing in any rift, solar weapon final blows grant rift energy. When your rift energy is full, final blows consume your rift energy and create a healing and empowering rift at the target's location. So it's this perpetual cycle of, if you're in the middle of Daybreak, which I think is the super, I always forget what certain things are called. Because I can say, you know, like Dawnblade, but again, Daybreak, I think his actual name is Super, creates a healing and empowering rift at the location. They're pretty beefy. It's like this double rift. If you're standing in that rift and you have a solar weapon and you get kills with that, you get rift energy back. And then if your rift energy gets full, it's going to basically consume your rift energy, create a healing and empowering rift, again, one of those beefy ones, at the target's location. So it's this like making this doubly powerful rift cycle that you can actually get on with these things. I haven't tried them out yet, but I know this definitely just got a recent buff. If like solar weapon build is your thing for a Warlock, you might experiment with this one. It's actually probably going to be pretty interesting. The stat roll of 63 isn't a bad total, but overall the distribution's not amazing. Recovery, both helping with rifts for Warlocks and health regeneration being only at 6. Not my favorite stat roll on this one. 17 intellect isn't bad. You do need Daybreaker to get that thing started. You do need some resilience and mobility, but the fact that recovery is low kind of hurts the stat roll on this one personally. But if you don't have this and you want to know what the functionality is like, it's a nice way to check this out. Maybe you'll get a better stat roll later. Overall, if you like Solar and Warlocks, at least get this thing and see how much you like the functionality of what the rifts are capable of doing. So this is normally where I would wrap up Xur, but now we have more stuff to cover. We have 7 weapons. We got to see if they're good rolls because they cost legendary shards and glimmer. And then we've got legendary armor, which I'm going to go through each class's stat rolls on these things to see if any of them are stellar. So first the weapons, then I'll go through the stats of the armor. So we've got a True Prophecy hand cannon. This one's got opening shot and elemental capacitor. You've got appended mag, extended mag, fast draw, and sure shot. Sure shot's not bad. Opening shot's not bad. Elemental capacitor's probably not a favorite here, so it's overall kind of okay. Escape velocity. You've got osmosis, which can turn basically any kinetic into an energy type weapon, so not a bad thing. Overflow, pretty reasonable on a submachine gun. So if you pick up ammo now, you're actually getting your weapon reloaded beyond normal capacity. You've got an extended mag, steady rounds. And then range masterwork. That's not a bad option. If you don't have a great submachine gun, check it out. Quick draw and dragonfly on the last dance with extended mag, appended mag. This one's fine. I'm not a sidearm expert, so I'm not always going to claim to know all the perfect rolls here. Hipfire grip and rampage. Rampage isn't bad, but hipfire grip, kind of mediocre on that roll. Lead from gold and backup plan. Picking up heavy ammo also grants ammo to this weapon. Backup plan did change. Grants reduced charge time and increased handling speed for a short time after swapping. They did a whole adjustment to fusion rifles, kind of the way the charge time changes will work. So that one probably will be okay. Auto-loading holster, not a bad thing for a machine gun if you put it away and bring it back out. Mulligan, though, kind of a wasted perk because if you miss a bullet, you know, it comes back into the magazine, but there are better perks for sure than Mulligan. And then for sniper, rapid hit and explosive rounds. I wish snipers were in a better position for like PvE damage. If somebody can scream and say, hey, this one's amazing, pick it up, cool. But I'm not seeing any perks here that scream that this is like the best sniper in the world. So now we're going to go through armor. Hunters first, just see if there's any big standout stat rolls. 65 alone. If you are looking for a 65 stat roll on gauntlets, then, you know, check this one out. Decent recovery, decent discipline, intellect, and mobility. Like, these hunter gauntlets alone are probably worth buying if you have a hunter. 61 for the chest. Not bad. Pretty well-rounded. Even distribution. Cloak's a cloak. Let's see. Helmet, 62. Low resilience and low discipline. That's not a bad thing for a hunter. High mobility, good for a hunter. High recovery, good for PvP. Intellect and strength. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good roll. And then for the legs, you've got 23 in intellect, low discipline, low mobility, but overall still a reasonable roll. You could get a complete arc set of armor here for 250 legendary shards and about 5,000 glimmer, and you'd be good on an arc set of armor for a hunter. Let's go check the other classes. All right, so for the Titans, we've got a 60 stat roll on gauntlets, decent resilience, 10 recovery, 14 intellect, 10 strength. I've seen worse, so that's not bad. Check your stat rolls. This isn't terrible. Like, you know, you're usually looking for like mid 60s like that hunter one was, but again, if you don't have a great roll, this will definitely be an upgrade for some. 55, not worth looking at. The Mark, 53, and 51. All right, Titans got crapped on today. Let's go check the Warlocks. And finally, we'll see if the Warlocks get anything good. Got a 60 stat roll with 2 intellect, unfortunately. 12 recovery, discipline, strength, not bad. Okay roll. You know, if you're rolling around a basic armor, this is still probably going to be an upgrade. But again, it's 50 legendary shards. A new player, those might be a little harder to come by. 59 on the chest. Yeah, it's high recovery and high intellect, so it's decent distribution, but the 59 still questions if this is worth buying. Mark, 62 on the helm. discipline, strength, and resilience, kind of wasted stat rolls. Missing intellect and recovery, which is big. So not the best here. And then 63, though, for the legs. Low recovery still kind of hurts the Warlock. So not amazing here. 63 is not a bad stat total, but the distribution is okay. If resilience was where recovery, if resilience total went where recovery is, then we'd be talking. But overall, I would definitely say Hunters win the armor battle for this week. But as you guys can tell, Xur is going to be a little longer video because we've got more to discuss. If any of the roles you guys see in the weapons are like exciting to you guys, comment below and let me know why. If you guys enjoy these videos, of course, please drop a like below. If you guys have thoughts about literally anything listed here, please drop a comment as well. If you guys are new to the channel and you like my content, you guys can hit that subscribe button to the channel to help support me. You guys can hit the alert bell to help my videos make it to your YouTube feed. And if you want to support me directly, you can hit that join button, become a member of the channel, get some emotes when I'm streaming, stuff like that. You guys can also find me on Twitter at Ebontis and streaming over on Twitch where I do some more variety content, twitch.tv/Ebontis. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon.